live. I'm here with my buddy, Mike Malinovsky. Been a good friend of mine for a long time, since middle school, really. Former college athlete, played football. I'll let you get into it. What's your background? Where are you from, man?
Atlanta, Georgia. I went to school at Presbyterian College. Did 4.5 years there, and then moved back to Atlanta and started working in real estate. And have been doing that since January 22. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Short and
it's
simple.
good stuff. Yep.
Got good parents, good family, good sister.
Yes.
Yeah, man. He actually just started a podcast as well called Mic'd Up. Hasn't been dropped yet.
Nope.
At the time of this recording, it has not been dropped yet, but it's good stuff. Similar vibe to mine, to the Tyro experience. And
Great name, by the way. I mean, it's quality.
thank you. It took a while. Took a while to think about it. It kind of came to me, if you will. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're in a similar stage as me. You're a young man growing up in the day's world. Pretty much same atmosphere, environment, community that we grew up in. And I wanted to have you on, number one, just because you're my dog. You're my good friend. And also, I think you got some valuable insights on being a young man in the world and just trying to figure it all out, playing college sports.
For sure.
Getting into jiu-jitsu, being a physical specimen.
Yep.
Hitting the gym hard, all that type of stuff, trying to get in real estate, trying to make your money. So wanted to have you on just to kind of talk about it, see where we could draw some similarities and maybe disagree on a few things, but we'll see.
I appreciate it, man. It's going to be interesting. I think we enjoyed doing the Mic'd Up episode with you. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's definitely something that's nice to reciprocate and be able to kind of have my thinking flow off your questions and where you want to drive the conversation. So I'm grateful to be here.
Sure. And we're coming to you live from Grayton Beach, Florida. Mm-hmm. Currently on a little spring break with my family, taking advantage of a house, Good view. Beautiful weather and a beautiful beach town. If you've never been to 30A, you should do it. It's freaking awesome. It's a great part of America, for real. But into it, man. I mean, we've been out here moving around, working out. I brought some kettlebells.
Whew.
Yeah,
Boys, no fucking joke. Absolutely no joke.
They're serious. You can all you really need is, you don't even really need a kettlebell. You can just use your body pretty much. But if you got 2 kettlebells, I brought 3. But if you have a couple kettlebells and a hard surface in your body, you could wreck your life. You can destroy your demons.
Oh, most definitely. The movement is key.
100%. Just got to keep moving. That's all you got to do. And even he's got a whoop on, or you've got a whoop on, I guess. So
yeah, we were out there in the ocean body surfing and and throwing the football. Absolutely. Oh shit! You got 500 calories.
Yeah, 500-600 calories
for an hour.
Yeah,
an hour of just hanging out.
Having a good time playing in the water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, first question for me is going to be a broad one. So might be a tee up, might be kind of difficult, but it's a question that I was taught to ask people because of it kind of forces you to reflect on one of the most important things in your life. And the question is, what do you know now that you wish you knew then? What do you know now that you wish you knew when you were growing up?
When I was growing up?
Let's say, what do you know now that you wish you were when you were starting college?
Be present. Really a little background. I went to PC to play football and absolutely hated it. I just wasn't in a good place. I thought I was going to be a top dog and just didn't turn out that way, right? So I just kind of wished everything would go by super quick. I wish I could transfer. I wish I could do this. I wish I could, get through pledgeship and all this other stuff. And it kind of just made everything fly by super fast, right? And kind of looking back on it, I just wasn't super grateful for being in the moment. Mm-hmm. And now, every day it's awesome because I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And in that aspect, it's made me appreciate life more, just in the simplest form, waking up every day saying, I have an opportunity to be better.
Yeah.
I've got an opportunity to figure out something that I'm not necessarily good at or that maybe I'm lacking in my life and maybe work towards it or take those little baby steps and say, okay, I understand it now, or I understand what I need to work on. And then tomorrow, if I'm blessed with that opportunity, I can take a little edge off, keep taking an edge off until you kind of bring it full circle. Mm-hmm. Then you move on to the next thing. But yeah, that's a really broad question. There's a lot of things, but like
it's $1 million question is the way I was always taught, but it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
What do I know now that I wish I knew then? It's kind of funny. Usually I ask this question to people that are like older than me. Yeah. But if I was going into college, I would probably just say let it go would be my simple and if I'll dive into it a little bit, basically just like I had such potent and like real desires and drives and goals that I kind of like held on them too tight, and it was because of that what up on a podcast.
Goals and drives.
Totally. Yeah. It's true though. Yeah, man. Like I always wanted to play in the MLB. That was my thing. Like I was like, dude. Yeah. I basically like convinced myself I was already in the MLB.
You just haven't got there yet. You were just like,
I was like, I'm an MLB player. I just haven't pitched yet.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like I held on to it too tightly, I think, to the point where I kind of squeezed it out of myself. When I stopped playing baseball last year, I wasn't sad about it, honestly. And that's I don't regret it. That's the way it goes. But
yeah,
if I could do it over again, I would definitely just let it happen the way it's supposed to happen. Do what I can do to control it, and then let it happen, and not be so close to my heart with what I want. Kind of just leave it up to God.
Yeah,
let it all work out, and have faith that I've done what I can.
That's what I mean. When Ian and I went and walked on the beach while you and your dad went to the Verizon store.
Shout out Ian.
Shout out Ian Seymour, Tampa Bay Rays organization. Great guy. He was like, dude, I was so worried about, this part of my game, that part of my game, trying to work on it every single day, always like watching videos on mechanics and figuring out how to get a little bit better, a little bit more rotation on your plant and when you're pitching and stuff like that, right? But then he was like, once I realized that, I get on the diamond, I do my thing, and then I just leave it there. I just like let it go and place it right there, and then I pick it back up the next time I get back out there, instead of just always be one of those things that's compounding in your mind. And that was powerful because like that's a dude who was like exactly like you. Oh, I got to grind. I got to keep grinding. But when he stopped thinking like that, he said he enjoyed it more. Yeah. He had more fun to be like just to be out there doing his thing, something that he really loves.
I think that's first off, that's well said. I wish I was on that walk. But you met Ian quickly when we were at the lake, and me and him, I think, were so close in college and are still good friends because we were very similar in that way, where we would be like, it'd be a Friday night in college in Blacksburg at a great college town, and we'd be like, nah, we can't. We got lift tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We can't go hang out. We got to be in bed by 8:30. And so when you like look back, that's another thing kind of that I would change, or not change, but just be cognizant of, is understanding that when you get into a specific point, like basically like when I get into the weight room, if I treat it like it's the only thing that matters, then it'll matter. Here's a good example. So last year I went to VCU, pitched against UVA 3 days after my brother's wedding, and for 4 days, I was gone for 4 days, didn't throw a baseball. And I drank 3 out of those 4 days, and I got pretty drunk. And for a good reason, celebrating my brother, and got 4 hours of sleep 3 of the 4 nights. Pulled up to UVA, 4 days not throwing in the middle of the season. Had one of my best outings, and we won on a walk-off against the number 10 team in the country. And I told my coach, I was like, it kind of made me realize things affect you how you think they're going to affect you.
Yeah.
So if you think that I'm not saying go be like a drunk degenerate and stuff, but if you take care of what you can control and then have faith that it'll work out, then like the way that you perceive it will affect you is how it will affect you. So that's a
I mean that
nugget from Ian.
I mean now that points to perception is reality, right? Like now take it with a grain of salt because it kind of that's a dangerous paradox,
Sure.
but like that's it's true. Like emotional wise, like the way someone perceives how you treat them is how they feel. It's not like regardless of your intentions, right? You could have the purest intent, but they could feel super shitty about a little thing you said, and then that's here we go. It's going to kind of steamroll. But no, it's wild. That's a
shout out to Ian, man. He's a intelligent dude.
Good ass question, dude. That's because there's a lot of things that.
What kind of forces you to like delineate it and
for sure
because you could have a very long answer.
When also like, maturity wise isn't based off age, right? It's based off of the experiences you have and how you choose to integrate those into your life and the things that you've learned.
100%.
Because I feel like I'm a lot more mature than I was a year ago, and it really hasn't been that long. I'm 24 years old. Like I've got hopefully a lot of life left to live, right? Bless, praise to the Most High.
God willing.
But even then, like, I just feel like I'm, same with you, thinking on a higher plane because it's about the values that have shifted and you've kind of leaned more towards in one aspect and turned away from in another. You know what I mean? It's all encompassing. Very cool.
Yeah, here's another one for you. This is from Tim Ferriss. So this is not my question, but if you had one billboard that you could show to everybody in the world, what would it say?
One billboard I could show to everyone in the world.
It's a heavy question.
Fuck, that's deep.
That's the heavy red hook right there.
I mean, we're just talking like, obviously it's not going to be a long message.
Yeah,
but
that's the point. Yeah, because you're driving by a billboard, you can only put so many words.
Keep going.
2 words.
Just keep going. That's all you gotta
Elaborate.
do. It's easy to quit. It's hard to continually work to be better. It's hard to continually work at the mundane, drawn out things that seem super tedious and boring, but are so profound in the way that they impact your life. Waking up early in the morning. That sucks.
Yeah.
It's not fun, let's be honest. But we're up before 70% of people.
If not
more,
yeah.
Being a little generous. That in itself, you're already getting something in that other people do while you're starting your work day.
Or whatever else it is that you're doing.
Exactly. Just keep going, man. Like there's been times where I've been on this self-reflective journey and it's like, damn, this is hard. Like do I want to journal again today? Do I want to write down how I'm feeling? Cause does it change? Is that, you know, but it's so beneficial. I look back from where I was, in November, like late 2022, dude, I'm nowhere close to that person anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just because I was like, okay, got to do the little work. And it's awesome to see. Like, you're like, oh, okay. This is cool.
I think that's one of the benefits of physical exercise, other than becoming stronger and having better actual health.
Yes.
It's a tangible example that crosses every other threshold of life, because the discipline it takes to be in good shape, the discipline it takes to be physically healthy, once you learn that discipline, you can apply it to everything in life.
Oh, most definitely.
100%. So I think that's really well said.
What would yours be?
Well, life happens for you, not to you. And that's from Tony Robbins. And to me, that is probably one of the hardest things to internalize about life, because it's so it's almost like an inherent in our genes in a way to be a victim, or maybe it's like ingrained in society and actually not in our genes. That's why we kind of deep down don't like being the victim, because maybe society is like modern society is kind of like pushing us like, oh, you should be the victim so that you can blame it on other people and then they'll take care of it, like whoever they is, you know. So that kind of takes you out of the victim mindset, puts you in a victor mindset, really, because if you extrapolate that and kind of dive into what for you means.
Okay.
For you meaning, I think the full quote is life happens for you, not to you. It's up to you to find the benefit. So if you're sitting there running around saying, woe is me, life happens to me, my tire's flat, it's on the side of the road.
Why me? Why me? Why me?
Why
gotcha,
me?
Okay.
This is like everything's happening to me, blah, 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 blah. It is one of the most empowering things that I've ever experienced. Even it's cyclical. Like, it's not like I'm sitting here saying like every moment of my life I'm like, life happens for me, because like
no, it's hard.
I just
hard.
dropped a piece of glass and I stepped on it, like, fuck, you know.
Thanks, life.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yes, that's for me. I did it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Though? But it's like, okay, if you literally take something like that, okay, you just dropped your coffee, you spilled it on my white shirt on the way down. I spilled my coffee, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, instead of being like, damn, life happened to me. This is such a small example, but okay, maybe I should be more cognizant of and aware of like my movements instead of like moving so mindlessly, especially while I'm driving. You see what I'm saying? That's a small example and kind of worthless in the scheme of things, but life happens for us, not to us.
I don't mean, like,
that's my
kind of the small examples help you conceptualize something, right? Like that. So like,
easier to
okay,
understand.
exactly.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like, all right, big example. I got in a car accident. Okay, well, damn, fuck that guy. It's their fault.
Yeah.
No, like, what
even
were you
if you're
doing?
in front,
you know what caused your part of that car accident? Okay, maybe they slammed on their brakes, but well, damn, I was going too fast. You know, I wasn't following
checking your phone or something like that.
Exactly. No, so I agree. Yeah, that's.
I want to ask you about something you said about doing the mundane and the things that you don't necessarily want to do. I totally think, like, I really do think that that's pivotal to a fulfilling life. Because I think discipline equals freedom, and discipline essentially is like the most base layer of a quality life.
Yeah.
So that being said, how do you internalize that in your own head, doing mundane things? Because I think that the important thing to clarify is, I don't think doing mundane things for no reason or for no end maybe is like, that doesn't sound like a very good life to me. So how do you figure out and clarify in your own head and stay convicted that the mundane things that you're doing are to a higher order, like that are for a higher purpose? So how do you figure that out in your own head? Because that's something that I've definitely, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, maybe they don't, maybe I'm the only one, but that it's kind of hard to internalize sometimes, because you're like, oh crap, what really is the point of me doing this one little extra thing if I'm not really passionate about the aspect of my life that it's in? I don't know if that makes any sense.
I would. I guess I would say that. I mean, it's loaded.
Yeah, it's a loaded question.
I think that the most important thing is that it's a part of the journey, right? Like, I have that end goal in mind of success for me is just finding that best version of myself, being truly authentic, right? And I think that having that end goal in mind is great, but the mundane, the discipline aspect of it is waking up every day and doing things that are going to get you a little bit closer to that every day, right? And I think that the way I kind of conceptualize it is that, you know, I want to live this type of life. I want to live a life full of conviction and contentment and being in accordance with my values. And so it's really just, you know, choosing how you want to live.
Yeah.
You know, it could be easy to say, yeah, fuck it. Let me just go do all these things that I want to do. Let's go party. Let's go drink. Let's go let's go hook up with a bunch of girls. Let's not really care about how I treat people. But to me, that's very one-dimensional and limited, right? And to have that discipline, like you said, allows freedom. It literally provides you with those opportunities. And I think that in understanding that and saying, okay, these little things that might not seem super important right now actually are probably the most important because they compound into something that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I've kind of come to that realization in the last 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And it's empowering because I know that hopefully I'm always going to feel that way.
Yeah.
And because of that, that's how I give myself grace, honestly. That's how
another very important thing to be
that's how
about.
I kind of say, okay, dude, look, you're doing good. Like you're doing things that you never thought you were doing, you would be able to do or would admit to yourself, and that's powerful for you.
Yeah.
That's something that is going to help you stay disciplined. Because I think we've talked about this before. Overworking.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I gotta go. Keep going. Don't stop. Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? That is so much more harmful than it is to say, okay, all right, I can do this. I can now do, let's relate it to jiu-jitsu. Your dad said this. I can now do a single leg takedown and then transition into side guard. Okay? I'm happy with that right now. But I know
side control.
Yeah, but I know where I want to go, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, side control,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's not like he's worrying about doing some
Exactly. It's not like he's sitting there and
and crazy armbar.
I can do it. I can do a single leg takedown into side control now. I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
there's more to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah,
but
the thing you said about in accordance with your values, I think that's a very good way to put it. I heard somebody say, oh, dang it, I wish I could shout him out right now. I don't know the exact name. It was some YouTube guy on YouTube, and he used the word congruency. Like I want congruency in my life. And I think this is where I heard Jordan Peterson say this: anxiety is when the narratives that you have in your head don't align with the way that you're living. So,
wow.
I mean, take a second to think about that, and then how that relates to the word congruency and in accordance with your values. So basically, say I have a value of being disciplined,
okay,
which is 100% something that I aspire to be, and it is a defining value in my life. Like I want to be disciplined. That is a desire of mine. I want to live a disciplined life. So when I don't live in accordance with that value, or another way of putting it is if there's a lack of congruency between my values and my actions, that's when the anxiety, when the feelings of of inadequacy come in. But what you're saying, at least the way I interpret it, is like the grace part. It's like, okay, dude, take a step back. You're doing your best.
Yeah.
Like,
you're trying.
Working, which is so hard for me sometimes, dude, because it's almost arrogant for me to say this, but it's like, I feel like, why can't I be like disciplined 100% of the time? Why can't I be empathetic 100% of the time? Why can't I be funny or compassionate or have the right answer 100% of the time? But it's so arrogant to think that even my best would be perfect.
Yeah.
So something that I'm really trying to work on is what you just said, is taking a step back and be like, dude, okay, you ate a box of cookies or whatever, or like something,
damn honey buns.
Or dude, like for me, it's like, or you like watch porn or something like that. You beat off. You're trying. Like it's not excusing the action.
No, I get that.
There is a lack of congruency between the values, but it's a journey. Rome wasn't built in a day, and so allowing myself to kind of bathe in the grace of the fact that I'm doing my best. Like I'm actively trying to become a better man. That's something that's extremely powerful and extremely freeing.
Yes.
And it's very difficult also.
Well, it is, but like, here's like, kind of maybe to give it another twist. So like, I told you this. I had a professor in college who would say pursue excellence, and I've mentioned this on my podcast before.
Mic'd up, check it out.
Mic'd up, yep.
Mike Malinovsky.
But there are very few things in life that are truly excellent. Okay, people can claim it, but like, you don't have every single person saying, "Oh, that's excellent" for a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But in the pursuit of that, okay, you're doing things that you never thought were possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I perceive my grace. It's like, okay, I'm doing jujitsu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had to take a month off in February because I fucked my wrist up, but I'm still going.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't even consider it an excuse because I want to do it. I want to continue to get better, and so it's just one of those things where, yeah, if you fall off, well, everyone falls off a little bit. Everyone has these lapses in judgment or this lapse in where their value,
really.
lapse in character where their values don't necessarily align with their with how they're living. They're not congruent.
Mm-hmm. I love that word. Sorry to interrupt.
No, dude, but it's
it's
true.
perfect. Get congruency between your values and your
Like
actions.
it's.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. But like, as long as you're getting back up on that horse and just continuing to go, and you understand that you're going to fail, I think that's the biggest part about grace that people can't really get. It's like, well, if I fail, I fucked up. Well, no shit, you fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's what you do after the fuck up that's going to determine if you actually learn something from it, or it's just going to be another fuck up in your life, right?
Yeah.
That's how grace has played a big part in my life, because that's the only way you can kind of move past things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be easy to say, "Oh damn, heart's broken.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm just gonna sit in my pity
For the rest of my life.
Exactly. Or you could say, "Okay, well, fuck. Maybe there's a reason for this, and I need to look a little bit deeper into who I am and figure that out."
Yeah.
Same with the porn aspect. Okay, so like, why am I chasing this?
Yeah. That's
Why am I
good.
chasing this one-dimensional, materialistic,
Instant gratification, dopamine?
yes,
Fucking
exactly. Like, why am I chasing
splurge.
all of these face value things that don't have any substance? These non-substantive things. Well, okay, so
dive into that. Yeah.
what aren't you doing in your life that could replace that? You know, so like it's like that internal conversation that is always going on.
Yeah.
Because I think if you don't have that, then it's one of those things you're just like, fuck, this is so cyclical and I can't break it.
Yeah.
But you really can.
That's another thing Ian talks about when in terms of desires. If you can, it kind of stems from the principle: if you cannot control your desires, you are a slave to them. And this is kind of the paradoxical nature of the discipline equals freedom. I think a lot of people kind of get turned off by that statement because of this, because you're like, wait a second, that's like the opposite of freedom. I want to have so many options. I want to have so many choices, and I don't want to pigeonhole myself. But if you are always at the feet of your desires, like, so you have a desire right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this because it's my desire. What are you to that desire? You're a slave. So it's kind of the same type of thing. And then in regards to the act, like, I believe that, I'm going to see if I can word this properly. The way you perceive God
Okay.
is how you perceive yourself. And how you perceive yourself is what you give to the world.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah. I
So
follow the logic
let
of
me
it.
let me try to dive a little bit deeper into that. So say that I believe that God or the creator of the world or science or whatever the heck you believe, life, the universe, whatever it is that you believe.
Okay.
I believe in God. I believe there's a God that created life. And I believe that if I believe that God is compassionate and has infinite grace and infinite love and infinite mercy and infinite strength that I can derive my strength from, then that's how I'll perceive myself, right? Because if I'm made in the image of God and if God made me, then I'll be like, okay, well, look,
I can do these things.
Then if God created me and he's a God of compassion and God of love and God of mercy, then I can be a man of mercy and a man of passion, a man of love. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to treat people with those things, with passion, compassion, love, empathy, etc. On the flip side, if I am angry at God or life, and I'm like, life is such a bitch, like life is so mean, life has no empathy for me, life doesn't care, blah, 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 how am I going to treat people?
Exactly like that.
So that's what I'm going to put into the world. And so the reason I brought that up is the grace thing. That's how I kind of started picturing grace, or not picturing, but a way to visualize it in like an ethereal type way. Because if I believe that whatever the hell brought me here into this life shows me grace, then I'll show myself grace. And then if I show myself grace, then I'll give grace to other people. And who the hell couldn't use a little more grace, you know?
Yeah. No, I like that. That's powerful in itself. That's pretty. I don't know if I've ever truly thought of it like that, or maybe wanted to, I guess, dig a little deeper into that, because I guess I've had that same type of thinking, but I've never really been like, so what does this mean for me? But no, that's
well, you remember at Passion Conference when Louis was like, whatever year it was, they were talking about how we're all royalty, because if we're the sons and daughters of a king.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Well, if I'm the son of, not the son, if I'm a son of God, then that means I have God in me. Like God lives within me. He lives in me and through me. So, and I believe that you can extrapolate that into literally every character trait that you want to live in your life. If you don't perceive yourself to have it, or that there is a source that you can get it from, then there's no way that you can put that into the world.
Yeah, I mean, because then there's what would be the point? You know, you don't really have any foundation for launching that kind of thought, right? It just kind of sticks to, okay, well, what's my next thought? You know, instead of being like, there might be a reason that I want to feel this way, and that I want to relate to people this way.
Or there might be a reason that like I have this underlying drive to do X, Y, or Z, or this underlying predisposition to X, Y, or Z, and then you kind of dive into it. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's because it's meant to be there, you know?
No, I like that. It's insightful for sure.
It's tough to grapple with, though. It's kind of big.
It is. I mean, but honestly, the most important things in our life, maybe not the most important, let's say the most beneficial things in our life usually are the things that at first seem to be the hardest, seem to be the most difficult, seem to be the most challenging, seem to be the things that you don't really want to think about. You know, it's like, okay, next.
Sorry.
I was going to say, but like when you do say, okay, let's go. Let's dive head first and see what happens. Strides.
Yeah.
You're fucking sprinting before you even start walking, bro.
Before you realize it. Yeah, and there's a verse, I don't know where it is in the Bible, but there's a verse that says I think it's Solomon somewhere, but there's a verse talks about wealth, but you can sort of put it in any aspect of life. An inheritance easily gained is not blessed in the end. The exact same thing. So say you get a job that you don't really deserve and that you just kind of get thrown into that you haven't done anything for. It's not going to be blessed in the end, because you know in your heart of hearts, for me, I know in my heart of hearts, it's not something that I actually work to deserve. So that's kind of bypassing that hard stuff. And then the verse basically explains it. In the end, it's not going to be blessed. Like it's going to end. So think about these very, very, very wealthy trust fund kids, right? Like you hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
Or these young Hollywood stars, they get rich so quick that it's like hard to even believe. Do they deserve it? Whatever. If your dad's worth $1 billion and you have a trust fund, you really didn't do anything to deserve that. And that's why I think it eats at some of their hearts, because then they go and search for that meaning in other things. And that's why you see all these negative kind of turns that they take. Yeah. So that's powerful too. Kind of just to summarize that for me so I can internalize it. Like leaning into the fact that, for example, this is the first podcast. You said it, dude. Nobody's gonna watch this anyways. Who cares? Yeah. Like, is this gonna be more awkward? Probably. Is this gonna be lower quality? Probably. Is it gonna be a little bit harder to edit? Blah 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 blah. Probably.
You got to start somewhere, though, right?
Lean into it. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I've kind of. I mean, my first episode was like 16 minutes, and it was just kind of like, here's what I'm doing. This is why. Next episode was like 26, 40, or like
Ours was,
37,
an hour or so.
40, like 48 an hour. Last one was 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That was literally just me talking to two of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I was like, it's because I started to understand how to talk, how to flow. And that's 7 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh damn. Imagine, doing this for years.
Yeah, you do 100 eps.
Exactly. Like, how good are you going to be? But you just got to dive in first
Yeah.
and see what happens. Like,
I watched Joe Rogan's first episode.
It's wild. It's wild.
Absolutely atrocious. No, seriously, shouts to Joe
You hear
Rogan.
that, Joe? It's atrocious.
Absolutely atrocious. But I think that's the beauty of it, because now he's 1900 deep and he's the man, he's like the OG.
Oh, you
even
mean
modern
the
wisdom. Yeah, the most famous person in the world, probably most powerful person in the world. You know who modern wisdom is? Chris Williamson.
No.
I got to put that guy on. I mean, that's a phenomenal podcast. He's probably one of the younger podcasters in this type of space where like just trying to become a good man, like trying to become a better man. He's 30 something years old, so he's relatively young comparatively to like Jocko and Joe Rogan and all them.
To us, he would be one of the guys you're like, okay, that's
modern wisdom, bro. You should check it out. And anybody listening, check it out. Great podcast. Cannot recommend it enough.
Sorry, does he have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Okay, I think
so.
I
got
do
YouTube,
follow
Twitter, all that stuff.
I think I do follow his Twitter.
Gonna switch it up to jiu-jitsu a little bit because you brought that up, and we both love jiu-jitsu. How has jiu-jitsu impacted your life?
It's funny. All these questions, like, regardless of the question that's asked, a lot of the things that are talked about, because my answer is discipline, like it's just one word, discipline. A lot of these answers all come back to these values,
these
right?
first principles.
Exactly. So for me, it's funny. I was telling you this earlier last week. I did not want to go to jiu-jitsu last week at all. I was like, fuck this. I'm tired. I've been sitting in the office. I just want to go home. Got home Tuesday. I literally was like, okay, you can either sit down and not do anything, get really high, or we could go to jiu-jitsu. So I literally walked in, put on my gi stuff, and walked right back out. Just sat in the car ready to go. And then I got there and it was like, oh, I'm so glad I went because I needed this.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I think that's probably just the biggest thing it's taught me is keep going. Just
show up.
Little by little,
You just got to show up.
Exactly. Because once you show up, it's like, are you just going to sit there and not do anything, go half-assed? No, I'm going to do better.
Yeah.
I want to get better now, so I'm going to try.
And it's like group atmosphere too. It's not like you're going to go just kind of sandbag it.
And to couple that, the discipline, but also with just being a fucking accepting person. The first day I walked in there, I thought I was like, damn, everyone's going to be looking at me like I'm retarded. Sorry.
They were.
Sorry.
They were.
Probably so. Like, look at this guy. Like, learning how to fall with little cones outlined on the edge of the mat. But they're like, dude, welcome. How was it? Was it fun? Like, just one of these things. Like, all these people could kick my ass. If I tried to roll with them, we're getting arm barred, ankle locked. Like, it's over.
Dunzo.
But they want you to do better.
Yeah.
They want you to succeed because they started at a point where you did one time. And
everybody had that first class.
Exactly. And that's like, we get so caught up in being better than people. Like, oh, look at that guy. He's just starting out. But like, okay, and
you were
there. You were literally so you're telling me you literally just jumped to a black belt? Yeah, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, good luck, buddy.
That's 10 years. Okay.
Fake black belt.
So yeah, it's just provided me with the ability to just honestly be a more accepting person.
Yeah.
Just being able to say, oh, this person's totally different than me, but I bet they're pretty cool, or I bet they've got something that they're working through.
They're here right now.
I bet they're working through things that I have no earthly idea. I couldn't even possibly conceive this in my mind what they're going through because I'm not this person. And I've got my shit that I'm dealing with, but that could be a walk in the park compared to what they're doing. So yeah, it's just been overall a great experience so far, and something that obviously I want to continue to get belts. It's like, okay, that means you're getting better, but like I just want to be a practitioner of life. And I think that, different people have different things that they lean into, but I think for ex-athletes, for sure, it's just one of those things that it fits. It provides you with that sport discipline 100%. That you don't get really anywhere else.
It's also, I mean, I relate to everything you just said because I also had that first class, also had that time where I'm like, these people literally think I am fucking like the dumbest person they've ever seen in my life. Because you walk into, I've told people this, the most awkward I may have ever felt in my entire life was walking in there with my gi, having my belt tied like a damn idiot. Like literally not even close to how you're supposed to tie. I hop on the mat, everybody's lining up. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then the second class was way easier. And then the third class, and then the fourth, then the 100th class. It's like, what's up, dude? Like, it's just so crazy because you take a step back, you detach from that, and you're like, you don't even think about the first class anymore. But in the moment when you're walking in the gym, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's just wild, man.
Like this, shrimping. First time you do a shrimp, bro, you're like, what?
Especially being an athlete, you're like usually like I can like control my body a little bit.
Hey,
like,
okay, so
what did that guy just do?
We're doing icky shuffle or we're doing karaoke. Oh no,
you're doing a shrimp. This looks like you're humping the ground backwards.
This is tough. But then you do it, and it's like, okay, I looked semi-special right there. But then you're like, next time you do it, you're like, oh, okay. You got a rhythm to it. Then you start going, and then you can do it down the mat in like 15 seconds. It's like, oh, sweet. Yeah. So no, I agree.
I can 100% relate to your comment about ex-athletes. That's, I tell people this all the time when they ask me about it. It filled the void of baseball for me for sure because, and it's a unique way because I haven't been a beginner at something, like a true beginner at something in a long time. Yeah. Just think about it. Fuck. When's the last time you started something from zero? Even you could be doing a new type of lifting. Okay, but you've been lifting for your life. You could try a new football, baseball, basketball. But guess what? You've been playing that your whole life. I had never fucking touched another dude like with my lips on his cheek while we're all sweaty and close up to each other while he's trying to put my arm behind my neck and choke me with it and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, I mean,
so you walk in there and you're like, this is crazy. I am so bad.
Honestly, I guess the only time has been going to a new job, but that's it.
Yeah, but even then, you've at least like worked before you applied for the job. You know what I'm saying?
Shit,
it's like,
take it back to 8 years old playing baseball.
First time you go to the field or something. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so,
that's wild.
Dude, this is the whole reason I wanted to name this podcast the Tyro Experience, because it's a novice or a beginner. It's somebody who is entering the sphere of like a battle, like a new battle. And jiu-jitsu 100% has changed my life in a profoundly positive way because of that. Because if you're not, the smartest people in the room are the ones who usually think they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever thinks they have every answer is a fucking liar. And so in jiu-jitsu, you go in there, and if it's some dude who thinks that he's going to tap out everybody or whatever, he might do it in his gym. Okay, but there's a gym down the street where there's three dudes that would tap you with their eyes closed. So it's profound, man. And the community's awesome. I'm sure your Alliance is a great gym, but like here's another point on what you just said. Never. Let me ask you this: have you ever gone to jiu-jitsu and then been pissed afterwards that you went?
No, never.
Not even close.
You can't be.
No. There's been times where I've gotten there doing the warm up. I'm like, oh shit, and then I leave and I'm like stoked about life. My brother told me that. He's like, dude, you're always in a better mood when you come back.
You are like okay, so I'll tag another one. Being present. You cannot not be present,
or you're gonna get choked.
Or you're fucked.
You're literally gonna stop breathing or stop having blood flow to your brain.
You start thinking about something else going through the day. Oh God, I just got taken down, and now this dude's fucking nuts are in my face. Like, it's true. Like,
yeah.
Okay, like now he's got me.
Snap back.
You're like, oh shit, or okay, now I'm in someone's close guard, and this could get ugly real quick.
Yeah, something as small. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have to end up in like a
even that momentary position. Yeah,
but still, or just like a choke. It's so funny, bro. I don't know if you've live rolled yet, but rolling with my black belt coaches or brown belts or purples, even other blues, but specifically like my black belt coaches, it's something about like you take a singular half second away from focusing on whatever it is that you can focus on to the best of your ability, because dude, it's a different level. Like I've never even come close to doing anything to my coaches because they're just like 5-10 moves ahead.
Yeah.
But the second I like lose focus and put my arm up, for example, I think he was in like knee on belly one time. I lift my arm up and he armbarred me within a half second. I was like, oh, it was like you're waiting for that. And he was like, no, it's not like I was waiting for it. It just presented itself and I knew what to do. So it was that singular, I'm just like the arm break. So like you have to be present. And I heard somebody talk about this in terms of school. They were, I think it was Jocko Willink's daughter actually in like some video on YouTube, but she was talking about how she would train in high school and then she stopped training in college because she just had too much to do, too stressed and all this stuff. And then somebody's like, hey, you should just go. Like, just go try for an hour, one class. And she went, and then she kind of realized that all her troubles and her worries for that hour went away. So now it's like a staple. And it's the same thing. Like, you have a hard day, you have a stressful day. The literal best thing you can do is go to jiu-jitsu. Or doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. Go to Muay Thai. Go to the gym. Go to a yoga class. Go run. Literally like any of that stuff, but specifically jiu-jitsu because of the beginner and it's cerebral, but it's also physical. Mm-hmm. I mean, I am filled with gratitude. That's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Yeah. I don't know about.
No, I mean, I was just super fucking nervous and scared. I was like, damn, this like, am I doing this right now?
Yeah.
But then like, it all comes back to just jumping in. Just fucking do it. Like, that's what I try to do a lot more is just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what people give a fuck. Like, who cares what people think? People are going to have their opinions regardless. Yeah. So you can either do it and then have that experience and maybe build off that first experience in your second, third, so on and so forth. Or you could just let that shit paralyze you.
Mm-hmm. Just go and do it.
So what are you going to choose? Be paralyzed your whole life and not do shit, or do shit that you think is entertaining and fun and not care what other people think?
Yeah.
Like, okay, but did you do it?
No. Dude, Ian brings that up too, man. He's like, we were talking the other day and he was bringing up the point about can you live your life not knowing the answer to whether or not you did, like what would happen if you did something? And if the answer is no, or the answer is yes, yeah, I can live my life. Cool, don't do it. But if the answer is anywhere close to no, I can't, then fucking iterative decision making. Literally just take a step. That is the reason I'm doing this podcast, is because I bought this gear. I fucking sit down and I have 10 conversations with people. Nobody listens to them and I don't really like it. The literal only thing that I did is I spent several hours talking to people that I'm interested in, and I spent like a couple $100 on a mic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you also learn things through those conversations, 100%. Right? So like,
what's the worst could happen?
Nothing. There's like, there's nothing bad. That's what I think that it's lost on a lot of things. It's like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's bad because you perceive it as such.
Then you make that adjustment. It gets better.
But nothing is necessarily bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a situation could be catastrophic and awful for sure. But if you learn something from it, let's take my mom dies. Okay, I'm not saying that doesn't suck. Like yeah, I would be
distraught. You would be distraught.
Dude, I can't even think about that. But like, okay, what did she teach me? How can I live my life in a way that she would say, damn, that's my son. Mm-hmm. You know, how could I live a life where it's not even I'm searching for her acceptance and pride in me. It's like I want to do this for her.
Yeah.
You know?
All that's to be said is like basically there's darkness can be overshadowed by a little bit of light. Like there is always light. And have you ever read Tribe by Sebastian Junger?
No.
Or Younger, however he's a journalist. He spent a lot of time in Afghanistan and Serbia or maybe Yugoslavia, something like that. I can't remember. But he was fascinated at the fact that in war, obviously, which is the worst thing that human beings are capable of, he's like, wait, why are all these people happier? And then he went back and actually interviewed people that were involved in a civil war in Eastern Europe. And they were all like, we missed the war. and you're like, wait a second, how can you miss like tens of thousands of people died? But we were a community. We were tight.
You're close.
We were close. We were working towards the same thing. Everybody lost their ego, and we were working towards one picture that would help everybody. So that's just a kind of a drastic example of the fact that there's good in every situation.
No, there is.
Genuinely.
And, you know, I was like, to end that thought, like, I just think that my point was, like, you can still learn things from bad situations or things that are labeled as bad. And so they're like, it's not really bad. You know, like, yeah, its situation could suck to go through, but if you learn something, you've gained, and sometimes that's all that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Right. That's another thing that like people are just. I don't think a lot of people really understand or want to get to know. Like, hey, just learn something.
See if you can point it a little bit closer, like instead of this.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
but you can go a little further away.
Okay. Yeah, just like you being able to understand that I can take something from anything that I go through and hopefully be better for it or from it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that sometimes that has to be enough, and that's okay. Like, people are like, oh, okay, I didn't learn, you know, all the real estate terms in a day.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, okay, that's
Well, what did you learn?
come on, exactly. So
Yeah, I mean that's fascinating. That's jiu-jitsu, man. It's life. It's so representative of so many things about life, especially for men. Yeah, I'm sure that it translates for women as well, but just you can extrapolate like every single lesson that you learn in the jiu-jitsu journey into the life journey, and I just think it's freaking fascinating. How has it changed your training, like your weightlifting and stuff?
Well, one, I need to get more mobile. Fuck. No, I just think that I'm more aware of my body and what I can do with it. Mm-hmm. You know, instead of walking around bumping into shit, I'm like, oh, gotta make.
Is that thing trying to leg lock me?
Yeah.
Is that door trying to
take it easy?
Is that door trying to single leg?
But yeah, it kind of makes me more aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
About how it's.
Oh, my training.
About how jiu-jitsu. I've totally been there.
Exactly. Yeah, like, and also just being able to position my body better, and understanding what muscles need to be engaged when doing certain activities and not doing others. Because sometimes football player, you're tensed up all the time when you lift, right? And in jiu-jitsu, you can't really be tense because you expend so much fucking energy when you don't even realize it. Translate that into lifting. That's probably one of those things that's a detriment to those who don't understand what muscles to engage when you're working that specific group. Because say I'm doing bench press, but I'm literally using only my arms and my chest. I'm fucking my shoulders up. I'm hurting
who
my
would
back.
ever do that? Definitely not me.
Or like
I'm using my toes on bench press.
Or like squat, like leaning forward on your feet, so you're not getting those 4 points of contact on your toe from your feet, shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about you?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I did not expect you to flip that on me.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, for honestly, not too much, to be quite frank with you, because baseball, it's asymmetric, and the way that I'd been trained in college and most of high school was to sort of balance the movement and the movement patterns.
Yeah.
Not so much just raw strength. Like, okay, well, how can you move a certain amount of weight in a specific range of motion with a specific balance or rotational sort of constraint? So, which actually 100% translated into a benefit for me in jiu-jitsu. I think it helped me be more aware of my body in space, be more aware of muscle groups, also be more aware of like being tense, because for example, when you're pitching, dude, it's well known that the more tense you are, the harder you try to throw. Not going to throw as hard because your muscles don't have.
I think you're gonna be less accurate, right?
100%. It's just not a good way to there was some sports science thing they did where they did like reaction times, and when you're super tense and you try to react, or if you're loose and try to react, you see what I'm saying? It's in favor of being loose, so then your muscles can contract like that. I don't know the exact science behind it, but I will say that my training in baseball 100% has benefited me in jiu-jitsu. It's helped me a lot.
That's awesome.
Also because there's a bunch of different like little mobility things that you're always focused on in baseball, especially as a pitcher. You're always focused on your spinal hygiene, or you should be if you're not. I mean, every human being should be focused on their spinal hygiene, but in baseball specifically, you want to have good thoracic mobility and all that stuff. And that saved my ass in a couple jiu-jitsu situations. As far as training though, honestly, bro, there was like a month and a half or so where I kind of just stopped lifting weights. Like we've talked about this, where before I kind of started going to the gym with you, I felt I was being lazy. I'll like full candor. I was being lazy. I was sort of not anxious, but I was just like, oh fuck, dude, I don't want to like. I haven't lifted in a long time, so like I don't want to like start that again, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I just dove in, started hitting freaking 5 a.m. sessions with this damn beast. But other than that, man, I mean, dude, you could people that haven't rolled. I mean, dude, you haven't live rolled yet. Wait till you get one of these 90-minute sessions where you're live rolling for 75% of it, bro. Your gi is dripping sweat. You're gonna look like you just got out of the shower. And the thing about jiu-jitsu that's different, it's not like bench where it's a singular movement right here. It's not even like a med ball throw. It's constant contraction of all of your muscles. Like you're going to use your forearms, you're going to use your shoulders, you're going to use your tricep, you're going to use your hips, you're going to use your glutes, you're going to use your back, your abs, your calves, your quads, your neck even. And I'm talking like full body soreness like you've never had after your first like hour and a half, 2 hour sessions, because it's everything. And it's also cardio, dude. I don't know if you could tell, but I freaking love jiu-jitsu.
Dude, it's fucking, my friends, I told my friends that I was doing it. It was like, oh, dude, jiu-jitsu, come on. It's like, okay. Like, I think that it's also just kind of made me realize like people are going to have their opinions no matter what. So you just, like I was saying, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Like,
just try it.
And
what's
also,
the worst that could happen?
You know, it's like if you enjoy it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Finding that gratification from other people really is. I didn't really like truly realize this. Now I would talk about it, and you know, I would tell people, hey, you know, do this for you. But then I'm, you know, sitting here like, oh, what do they think about me? Like, but like now, that's probably the thing that it's taught me the most. It's like, yeah.
Who cares?
It's you. That's your life. That's,
you're going to see every single type of person in a jiu-jitsu gym.
Oh, for sure. Dude.
Literally every people. This is also good
seen
advice.
A kid who I thought would run down the hallway like this. I mean,
yeah,
animal, absolute animal. You're like,
they're actually finding that a lot of kids that are more cerebral are really drawn to jiu-jitsu because it's such a cerebral thing. It's literally human chess.
Yeah,
and it's fascinating to me. This is also just a good lesson for life. Not to fuck with people on the street. It's just not worth it because, dude, there is some motherfuckers in this gym, women, dude, that I'm like, okay, if I saw you on the street or in a Kroger, I would think I would beat your ass handily. I'm not saying I would fight a woman, but I just like, you know what I'm saying? I would be able to physically dominate. They train jiu-jitsu, they're purple belt, they would fuck me up.
Yeah.
Bro. They would fuck me up, dude.
You get taken down.
You have
like,
no idea.
So it's
just an interesting, it's so interesting to see. Like, dude, I had a black belt coach for like only 3 months, but he was a great jiu-jitsu practitioner, and he was 140 pounds. I'm 230 pounds. He would wreck my shit, bro. Like, tossing me, dude, doing judo throws, literally dominating. And it would be almost comical to me, where I'd leave the gym and be like, I don't even know.
Like, okay, fuck.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a long journey.
That's tough. All right.
But, you know, I mean, that's part of it. What's your diet looking like recently?
Diet?
Because you're cut right now. Let's be real. I mean, I've been seeing all these people look at you at the beach, man.
Yeah, fuck. Well, in Grayton, it's been absolute shit. So I ate a honey bun with probably 6 scoops of ice cream on it last night after the first one that I heated up was stolen by this asshole right here.
That's wasn't me.
Then I ate a lot of chips, but and some pasta.
It's vacation, man.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still getting after it. We're getting physical.
No, honestly, so I try to do at least 2 24-hour fasts during the week, where the day before I'll start it because I'm going to bed, right? And then I'll wait till dinner the next day. But usually I will eat lunch at 12.
Yeah.
And then,
a little intermittent fasting action.
And if I, want to have a snack before I get home, cool. Or when I get home before dinner. And then I'll eat dinner and then have fruit and something sweet that kind of satiates that craving.
Yeah. That's a real craving.
And then recycle. It's usually a lot of eggs, fatty, good proteins like salmon, ground beef. Ground beef's usually lean though, like 90-10, 93-7. Whole milk. Whole milk's great. I've gotten back on that train. What else? And I will say, so living at home, get to have the benefit of eating HelloFresh, and mom will sign up for the good high protein, good carb meals that also have a green in there as well. And that's probably dinner if I'm not cooking it by myself. And that cycle of just being consistent with it has been awesome. I think that, and also not staying away from sugar.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, sugar sucks. No, it's all the processed stuff. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, dude, I have like a bowl that's pretty deep bowls that you would be like, that's a lot of fucking fruit.
Yeah. And I mean, you get after it, like, you're cut right now, so this shit definitely works.
It does.
And you're also gaining. You're not losing weight muscularly.
No. And I think that's you just got to fuel your body, right? I do the intermittent fasting just because I don't need to eat like I used to for football. I also don't need to. I just don't feel hungry, so I just don't eat when I'm not hungry. You get super bored, and that's when you find yourself. What do I want?
Most of the time we eat, it's because we're bored and we want that dopamine.
So yeah, it's just one of those things that I try to stack day by day. The diet, I would say, you just stack chips.
Yeah.
Once you stack chips and it becomes inherent to your being, well, then when you get off of it, you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. What's your 3 rules, 3 sentences? So like, you can think about this too. 3 sentences for somebody that's trying to get their diet in check. That's like, I'm talking broad. You don't got to go down any type of specific rabbit holes here, but just 3 sentences, three top goals or tips.
Eat to be full, but don't overeat. All right, that's 1. Go off your body, the way your body feels. That's the second one. So
not your brain.
Exactly. Like if I feel hungry, probably hungry, you should eat. And just don't limit. Don't say no, I can't have this. If your body feels like you need it, like say it's I haven't had enough carbs today. I'm kind of lacking in the energy category, right? Get some carbs in. It's not bad. I was of the mindset for a long fucking time. It was like, I got to cut out this. And if I don't, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a horrible dieter. I'm going to be fat. I'm like,
yeah.
But once I started to go off how my body feels and what my body needs and just eating to be full, but not over full, 99% of all of my worries just went away with dieting. Now, just still working on being okay in my skin. That's just another journey, but yeah, it's not hard. We just overcomplicate it because everyone pushes all these products, all these shit. And yeah, some of them are good. Like I like using a diuretic. It pretty much just gets all the water out of your body, right?
Yeah.
A fat burner, like because it's a high stimulant because it just keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to genuinely get after a workout.
Yeah.
I like to beat myself up because I know that after that, everything we do the rest of the day isn't going to be as hard as waking up at 5 a.m. and working out for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of brings everything to
1,000 calories before 7 a.m.
Like that's wild. And I think that understanding that and giving yourself, wait for it, grace. You allow yourself to do a whole lot more because you're not constantly worried.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I need? What do I need?
Yeah.
All right, wait, if I eat this, I'm going to feel fat. If I eat this, I'm going to be fat. It's like, just have fun with it.
But be moderate. Yeah. And also, I think those are all great answers. My 3 would be similar lines. I think, firstly, whole foods. I think processed foods.
Yes.
And so the sentence would be, eat whole foods. That's
not at Whole Foods.
Yeah. Well, if you want to shop at Whole Foods, go ahead. But like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like whole organic, actual foods that have either been killed or taken out of the ground or from a tree or whatever. Because I truly believe that this processed food shit, and I'm not a victim of it. Well, I kind of am. I mean, we all are, of the massive marketing propaganda that's gone on for however many last century, really.
Yeah.
Processed foods are horrible for us. I believe that with my whole heart. So that's number 1. Number 2, calories in, calories out. That's something that I've really only focused on recently.
Bro.
And I didn't think about it. And so I have not dived into any of the scientific literature, but Andrew Huberman, who's reputable, he does his research, so I'll take that. He basically said that the science points to that being the number 1 dictator of, or determinant of fat loss.
Yeah, that's what him and Joe Rogan touched on,
simple.
I think. Yeah.
So simple. You literally, and
burn more than you eat.
you and Ian have talking about, like, so, okay, we go burn 6, and you don't have to be anal about it, but just having an idea for me has been so helpful. It's like, okay, I burn X amount of calories generally. Just keep it at or below. Like, that's that simple. If I'm trying to get cut, it's below. That takes discipline for sure. So that's number 2. Whole foods, number 1. Calories in, calories out. If you're trying to gain weight, it's really simple. Guess what? Eat more than you burn.
Yeah.
If you're trying to lose weight, guess what? Eat less than you burn. So the third one, oh yeah, I mean, I'd probably say cook, honestly. I mean, like, I think cooking your meals is huge because, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this. The difference in quality that you can get than going to like some fast food chain or whatever it is. Just
the only time I
cook
really,
your food.
the only time I really, it really is. Well, and also you're like, okay, I did this for a purpose.
Yeah.
The only foods I really eat out, it would be Chipotle or Cava.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, yeah, you might have a little bit of process on them, or process within, like, there might be some processed things in there, but for the most part, they're cooking it in front of you.
Yeah, they're better than
exactly. Like, the processed would probably be the salad dressing that you put on it, or, you know,
some of the oils that they
exactly
use, which are
and I mean,
dive into that later.
You're not gonna. It's very hard unless you live on a regenerative farm to get that type of substance with, you know, if you because it's expensive if you want to do it in a city. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna pay the price.
Exactly. So,
or you're gonna pay it later. That
is very true.
Pay
so
an
I think
pay it later at the hospital.
Mitigating it, you know, being able to, because it's hard to really truly escape all the processed stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
but just like keeping it to the smallest amount. I mean, you're doing better than 95% of the people, dude. Like, you're already way ahead, and your body thanks you so much for it.
Yeah.
It's fuck.
I mean, yeah, dude. Even these last 3 days, we've been kind of just
Oh, I haven't
munching
given a
on
shit.
whatever. Yeah,
I am
exactly.
not
I know,
giving
but it's kind of nice because I mean we're on vacation. We are still getting our grind, like we're getting our shit in. So it's not like we're just completely letting go.
And guess what? The bodies haven't changed
Yeah.
at all.
Dude, Liver King says this, and think what you want about Liver King. I happen to be a pretty big subscriber to a lot of the things that he says and believes, and I also think that his impact on the world, specifically young men, is a net positive, and it's not even close. Steroids, whatever you want to. I mean, we can all go down that road. But what he says is, I forgot what we were talking about. Straight up, bro. Just straight up.
Processed foods, dude. Your diet.
We're fucking tired, dude. I'm tired.
He had a vodka seltzer, dude.
A whole
and
half high noon, man. I'm hammered. No, but
Shout
yeah.
out.
So sorry, I get passionate about Liver King, bro.
So it's really blanks the mind. It just causes it to go.
No, so he always talks about like the robust being. Like, so if you've built a robust enough physiological being, then a drink or how I don't think drinking is good for you. Like I really don't. I say that I just finished a high noon, but like it's a net negative. I believe that.
It is.
That being said, in the right situation with the right people, I think go ahead, man, live your life. And that being said, if I've done my work, I've been disciplined when I need to be, and I've built a robust physiological being that can handle it, just like processed foods, then 3 days of eating, we've still eaten like relative, like we've eaten decent, but it hasn't been our normal thing. So, but we're not going to be super affected.
The only shit we've had is late night drunk or high snacks. I mean,
and ice cream 3 days in a row.
Well, yeah, but that's a drunken high snack. Like,
Well, it was
all
like
right,
the middle
okay,
of the
well,
day twice.
Semantics. I feel like last night we had pasta for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. For lunch, didn't really eat lunch.
Yeah,
we kind of just ate
chill,
like
yeah.
a
But for
later
just
breakfast.
regular breakfast. But
Breakfast was a little bit of bread with sausage and cheese and butter. I mean, okay, maybe some processed stuff in there, but overall, not bad.
yeah.
So no, I like it.
Oh wait, go ahead. My bad.
You know, it's really just moderation.
Yeah.
And just understanding that times like this, it's okay because we're gonna go back and
Get the
by tomorrow from Thursday to Sunday, and that time we'll be back to normal.
Yeah.
And
So be it.
exactly.
I got to change my third one. Moderation. 100%, dude. I guess it's calories in, calories out, but for me, that's something that's like the most important thing for me that I need to be better at, that I have a tendency to not be very good at. But if you can moderate, like, so if you want to have a piece of chocolate, okay, have one. But dude, it's when you have 3. It's when you have 4. It's when you have 4 or 5 donuts as opposed to 1. It's when you buy a whole box of cream pies and you expect to eat 1 per week and then you eat 12 in a night. That's when you're in trouble. And I'm speaking from experience. That'll fuck you up, son. That's like several hundred grams of sugar.
That's like that you're constipated. You're not shitting for 2 days.
That's some straight up flassery right there.
Dude. You're not shoving on your homies.
Oh shit. You mentioned something during that little tangent about living at home.
Yes.
I also live with my parents post college.
Yep.
I also know vast majority of my friends live with their parents, and I think that that's a interesting kind of, I want to say new, but it's actually kind of not, because there's been times where most of human history we've never really left our tribe.
Yeah.
So we've kind of always lived together, but in the context of leaving and going to college and then coming back, it's an interesting dynamic. I have my thoughts on it, but I'm interested to hear yours. What are the benefits? What are the negatives?
Benefits, negatives.
Why are you doing it, etc.
Well, I'll touch on the why first. I want to be financially responsible and free when I'm older.
Mm-hmm.
And also this is my perspective and my experience. So, if you gain something from it, that's awesome. But I'm not trying to say that this is the roadmap, the answer to it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to be financially responsible. I want to be able to go out, and when I do move out, I have the ability to pay for rent for a substantial amount of time before actually dipping into a paycheck by paycheck basis. Because then I really won't, because I'll just continue to save and accumulate and then go again. So there's that one, the why. The benefits, one, I think the benefits outweigh the negatives. Benefits are I still get to spend time with my parents. Big supporters of me and, what I'm doing right now and trying to learn and what I'm trying to do for work and everything. So that's been awesome. Food. I get to. My bills are minimum. I don't really have any rent.
It's a blessing, man.
I just have to pay for my phone, car, food, monthly, and so that it's teaching me a little bit of financial responsibility and understanding. Okay, payments are due when they're due. You got to be prompt. You have to actually do it, or there's consequences.
You're gonna get spanked by your dad.
Oh God, dude.
Hey, he's enforcing it some way, which is good. I mean,
I hope not spanking me.
It's a 24-year-old.
Fuck.
Can you imagine?
Bend over.
Can you imagine your dad?
Hey yo,
might get your ass in
that
here.
Is straight flash, pops.
Straight flash.
That's not cool. Also
That's
just
crazy.
It's crazy. Also, just I don't know. Just I'm still learning from them. It's just a deeper, more valuable experience when I have conversations like I would talk to guests on the podcast, or if I'm doing a solo episode, I just have conversations like that with them because I'm just trying to figure out what they wish they would have done when they were my age. Mm-hmm. The negatives are, this has been something I've been battling with for a minute. So you go off to school, right? I'm free. It's awesome.
Finally,
we're doing the damn thing, and you don't really have to answer to anybody. You're on your own person.
Got your own room and all that.
Exactly. And then you get to do things with people. Have friends over, bring a girl back. At being at home, the downside is that while my parents may be accepting of it, it's like, no, come on, dude, do your thing. I just don't feel comfortable in that setting.
100%. Right.
And it's just because they're my parents. My parents know pretty much all about my life, but it's from an intermediary, which is me. I'm not sitting here saying, hey guys, watch this, and go out and do it. It's like, no, this happened 2-3 years ago. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Looking back on it, it's funny. Also, and this is probably universal for us. I believe that when you truly move out on your own, there's another aspect of adulthood that you step into, right? I think that it causes you to grow. Personally, I think that I've just been kind of missing that, not because I'm doing anything wrong. I just haven't been able to step out into that uncomfortable zone yet. And that's, that has caused me to just sometimes be a little upset with myself, or just get annoyed. Mm-hmm. It's like, guys, I'm 24.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, still under the roof. You don't really have to abide by all the rules anymore, but it's more about respect. Mm-hmm. It's not like, because I could say, hey, Michael, I need you to do this. Fuck no. I could easily say that.
I would love to see you say that to your mother.
But
I would absolutely love that.
What I'm saying is you could say that to your parents.
I've said it. And I was spanked.
But you just don't feel, it's like, damn, they didn't raise me like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in the end, they're doing you a favor.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And think that at this point, you're 24, going into your, we're going to start cresting in the later 20s, getting into the 30s. This is where we're able to start building up that ability to give back to them, because for 24 years so far, they've been helping me. They've been helping me grow.
We've been a liability to them.
I mean,
and
we
still
are. They have facilitated our lives thus far, right? I'm not saying I'm going to facilitate my parents' life as I make more money, but I want to be able to do things for them that they used to do for me. And I think it all stems from a respect, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go home. Hey, what can I do for you guys? Dad, you need help? I mean, before we left for the beach on Sunday, we woke up at 5:30 and I had to move copper wire rolls with my dad. It's like,
That's sick.
That's
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, tough.
It's crazy.
But crazy. But, you know, he would have had to do all that shit by himself, and he would have definitely, like, he would have gotten
I look
hurt.
at that as the rent payments, like stuff like that around.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, we could talk about this for a long time because I relate to everything you just said in terms of.
It's just like it's a difficult dichotomy because on one end you're like, I'm grown up, I'm doing this, it's here, it's now, but then I'm like, okay, well, I'm still living at home. Like I still kind of, dude, I wake up sometimes and I'm like, damn, I'm fucking 18. Oh, I'm 24 years old.
Mom, turn the fucking air conditioner off.
Where's the meatloaf, Mom?
Yeah, Mom, where's the meatloaf? No, dude, I. These are all the damn near the same thoughts that I've had because I'm actually interested to hear from other people that I know and other people that you know about their experience because so far the people that I've talked to are pretty universally in line with that because especially as young men, we have to have that adventure. I believe that.
Yes.
So, but in the same note, you're kind of caught between
a rock.
I mean, dude,
and
it's a cool thing to think about because Bailey Zimmer's, that's a great song.
Yeah, no, sorry.
It's a tough thing to think about because I'm grateful that my parents first off want me to.
Yes, that's a big key. That's a big key.
They let me, and we get along well enough for it to work. I'm grateful that I don't have to pay for rent. I'm grateful that I get to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm like, wait a second. This is nice, but it's kind of comfortable, man. I'm kind of comfortable. Hey, also, guess what, dude? I'm living in a way fucking nicer house and setup than I would be if I was on my own. So am I getting used to? Yeah, well, I've got a fucking cold tub and a sauna, dude. It's like, wait, what's gonna happen when I fucking move out? I'm dead serious because it's a comfort thing. So I literally like, it's a positive. But damn, that's saving money, man. That's a powerful, not just saving, but the ability to then reinvest if you're smart. Because I know people that live with their parents and then spend all their money, which I think is just straight up dumb.
I think
that's dumb.
I have thought about so many times how many things I could buy with the money that I have saved up right now.
No, but people do it. But then I would feel like a complete fool if I looking at a cool, you guys might be able to see it somewhere.
I don't even know if that's a taco.
I'm gonna.
All right, never mind. That's a fucking lawnmower with 4 wheels, big ass tires. Sorry.
He drives an Acura MDX, so
RDX Sport Edition.
RDX, my bad.
Fuck.
But dude, it's an interesting thing because the man that money is a powerful thing. Like the fact that you can save money and like reallocate it to things that will pay off long term. It's powerful, but I'm looking to move here soon. That's for sure. That's my dad sounding like a complete moron.
As he's thinking about being grateful for.
There is no way.
Thanks.
Are you about to fucking
I appreciate
ruin our
that.
podcast?
I feel like I'm adding some quality.
Honestly,
You son of a
we just gained 5 million followers. So
You son of a bitch.
this is
Yeah, that's not orange juice. Wow.
And now the podcast takes a turn.
Well, another thing that I thought about, I'm actually glad you brought that up because about living with your parents, because I'm sure probably
Side note, I'm drunk. Holy fuck.
of the 20 or so million young men and women that listen to this, I bet you a lot of them, maybe 75, 80% have or do lived with their parents after college or as a grown up. So it'll be interesting to hear some of the comments of people that we know, some people that listen to this, if there's anyone more than me and you who actually do.
Well, I mean, also it's a testament to
God,
like
that is a strong.
yeah, that's woo. It's a testament
Chiringo,
to
Great Beach, man. I think this is called the Billy something.
yeah. It's also a testament to like having parents who want the best for their kids, right? Because there's also people who like Mikey and Charlie. There is no way in hell they could move back in with their parents. Not because they don't want what's best for them, but because it wouldn't be, oh, my kids are grown up now. It's like, okay, back under the roof. Here are the rules.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a dynamic where.
And that's not right or wrong. I really don't think that's right or wrong.
No,
I
but
think
like-
it's just different strokes for different folks, different parenting styles.
For sure. And I think that's one of the things, or you have a shitty relationship with your parents. And, you know, if you're forced to move back in with them, it's like,
That could be real.
damn,
Lot of tension.
like that's like, oh, we're back at it.
Well, and that could actually end up being like long-term negative on y'all's relationship, which is no good.
So yeah, it's honestly that the positives definitely do outweigh the negatives because the negatives aren't really negatives, right?
Yeah.
They're just kind of
Things you got to deal with.
yeah, like okay, I'm not getting this amount of uncomfortable exposure.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm living in the South Sudan.
Yeah.
So it's it's not really comparable.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I agree. Speaking of saving money and reallocating it, real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You have a job with a real estate firm. It's obviously maybe not obvious to people listening, but to me, it's obvious that you're passionate about it and you want that to be a part of your life and your income.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to why.
Why? Well, can't make more land, so there's that.
That's a factual statement.
I honestly, I think it's cool how land coupled with money and numbers can tell a story that creates interest in other people.
And then makes you money.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, obviously, I think that money's not necessarily the end all be all. It's definitely cool that it's a lucrative business for sure. Like being able to see your money grow substantially throughout time is pretty sweet. But like I've got the principals of my company are just good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, money is a motivator. Like, let's not be coy in the fact that
foolish, yeah.
it's corporate America. You're
doing it to
The
make
goal
money.
is for money.
Your profit is
But
your bottom line.
If you can make a better place for people while you do it, I mean, it's a win-win. You're
Yeah.
net plus.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's drawn me to it. I also I like working and being around people, developing those relationships. And because your network is your net worth, that's. Sorry, someone just said a bad word, and I had to be astonished for a minute.
Unbelievable.
If your network is your net worth, right? You meet so many people in doing that and developing these business deals and relationships, they kind of go hand in hand. Like if you're an asshole, no one's going to want to do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're too big of a pushover,
You're going to take advantage of it.
Exactly, and then you're not going to be in the business for long. So it's all about the balance. Really, we've talked about this a lot of topics, but balance kind of comes into play in every single thing that it underpins every single thing that we've touched on.
Yeah.
So.
Friends, all things constant, friends hire friends. All things not constant, friends hire friends. So, and real estate, because as you know, it's something that I'm passionate about and fully bought into.
Dude.
It's a relationship business. If you talk to anybody that has been successful in real estate, they will tell you relationships, location. Have you heard that quote?
No.
Look, for real? Location.
Oh yes. I've heard that.
That was a bad joke.
Okay, sorry.
About
That was
real
yeah.
estate. No, but so it's for me, and you touched on it as well, the relationship part. It's like the art of building relationships, because that one relationship that somebody else might throw to the wayside and kind of treat, you know what, whatever, I don't really need I can kind of write that guy off. That guy might come upon an off-market deal that say you had taken a little bit more interest, you had built a little bit more rapport, had a little bit more influence on him, he would come to you first,
Boom,
and then you lose out on a fat ROI because you decided to be a dick to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that you go, oh,
That happens all the
sorry,
time.
that multiple turns, it's a 3x, and you're like,
Well, I was a dick.
oof. No, I mean, it's also just, it's interesting. Like, driving around, a person who made all this drives around and says, I helped make all of this.
All this environment. Yeah.
That's awesome. You get to see people enjoying the things that you worked hard for. Mm-hmm. I think I don't think that's a selfish aspect of thought. I think it's kind of one of those things that's like, it gives you that delayed gratification because it takes a lot of time to build all these homes, right?
Developers specifically, I mean, the risk that they incur is redonkulous.
So being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being people enjoying what you provide for them,
whilst creating generation, because I think it would be foolish for anybody to ignore that fact.
Oh, generational wealth, yeah.
Like for me, that is a massive part of it.
Yes.
It really is. That's like because I want to create generational wealth for my family.
Honestly, to your question earlier out there about why do I want my work to be modeled by others in the industry later on in life, for that reason.
Sure.
I want to build that for my family, but I want to build that idea that it can be possible.
Yeah.
You know, you can do this. Just put your head down and grind for a little bit.
Well, and the interesting thing, kind of relating to our ancestors, our hunter and gatherer ancestors, about, because a lot of people, the counter argument to this would be like, money doesn't buy happiness. I agree. I 100% agree that money does not buy happiness. I think that money is necessary in today's world, and I think that it can facilitate cool experiences. And guess what? You need it.
Yeah.
And nobody ever got $100 and then was pissed. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever found $20 on the ground and said, "Damn it!"
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying? So
I wish it was 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Psych. So I think having that in mind, real estate, dude, there's just really no, and from what I've learned and in my vast amount of knowledge as a 23-year-old young man and huge net worth, you know, real estate seems to me to be one of the best, most tried and true ways to do it. They're not making any more of it. And it's a relationship business, and I like people, you know. I like interacting with people. I like creating things. I like solving problems. All things that I feel like you relate to as well. So, I mean, real estate's legit.
Do you think it's so you mentioned this out there outside on the deck. Is it an end all be all, or is it because the purpose of real estate really is you have hold periods on assets, so you're making money while you're going out and searching for other deals. Mm-hmm. That's passive income, right? So what, like, is there something else that you want to do while also doing this, or is it one of those things where? Or is there a number that you want to hit? And then once you hit the number, it's like, Or is it just kind of, I want to do this until I can say, I can take that a step back, go high level, and just be content?
Yeah, I'm definitely, maybe in the past I've been like, there's a specific number, but I don't really give a shit about that now. Like, once I reach 100 million, or once I reach $1 million, I'm going to be chilling. Nah, that's not really it. I think it's more of a conduit, because having passive income allows you to free up your other mental and physical faculties.
So
because in the end, I want to create something. I know that for a fact. Like, whether that ends up being in real estate, like creating an environment like Rosemary Beach or Alice Beach or Graydon or Ponce City Market, etc. I do not know the answer to that. Whether it's a company, whether it's a product, whether it's a community, I do not know. Mm-hmm. I know that I want to create something. Yes. I think that the best way to be able to free up mental capacity and bandwidth and time is to have passive income, because nobody ever got rich working for money.
No, that's true.
Because
put that in your notes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say that. That was Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad. Make your money work for you, not work for money. So that's, and I'm saying I want to clarify this to you and all 20 million people listening that I'm broke. I have, like, all things considered, comparatively, I have no money. So this is what I've gathered from people that I know, people that I've spoke with, and books that I've read. That being said, maybe we can have a different conversation in 10 years. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
There's no maybe about it. That conversation will be had in 10 years.
We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Doing the same damn podcast.
Hey, there you go. That's it. So, okay, my question for you.
Oh, this is my podcast, man.
Exactly. I know.
I'm kidding.
This is, you mentioned it earlier. Like I could record 10 episodes and then just not enjoy it. But I mean, we've been talking for I don't even know how long. Is it?
Yeah, hour and 30.
Oh shit!
Wow, right? Wow.
Do you? I mean, first take, like, it's enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah, this is an incredibly satisfying and fulfilling way to pass time. Like, it's literally been an hour and a half, and if you had told me it had been 30 minutes, I'd been like, okay, cool.
I think, you know, it's therapeutic, definitely.
It's cathartic, like,
and
for sure.
So could you be like, okay, this could be a thing in 10 years?
100%. I think, well, it could be. Whether or not I choose to make it is a thing.
Okay.
But the reason I just don't see it not being a thing is I want to have conversations with you and Ian and, like, other friends and other people that interest me regardless. So why not put a mic on it and then let other people kind of share in that value? You know what I'm saying? Because, like I mentioned, but I'm going to extrapolate on it. 10 years down the road, say I decide to do one podcast a month, 12-year, 120 podcast episodes total, over 10 years. Let's say they average 2 hours. That's 240 hours. 5 people listen to each of them. I already lost track of the numbers. I'm not good with that. So that's, like, not that many people that listen to them, right? But that's my point.
Yes.
Who cares, bro? Then I just had 200 or whatever, or 120 cool conversations that I damn sure probably would have had regardless.
But then you can go back and listen.
And here's another thing. Maybe I actually wouldn't have had them regardless, because a lot of times, we found this out in the 2 episodes we recorded together, is we probably wouldn't have had such an intentional conversation. We probably would have just been chilling, maybe listening. We might have been talking, but it wouldn't be so intentional that we're going to sit down for 1 to 2 hours. We're going to talk about some serious things. We're going to laugh. We're going to learn. We're going to grow, etc. It also grants you access. Like, if I said, hey, man, not to you because it's different, but, like, somebody a little older than us that's a little bit busy, like, quote, busy. And I say, hey, man, you want to go get coffee and spend 2.5 hours talking? Likelihood of him saying yes, low. Comparatively to me being, hey, man, I've got this would be my 10th episode of my podcast. I'm really trying to learn from you. I hope that I can portray and convey that value into anybody that listens. Literally, it could be one person, and I know that's so fucking cliche. But if I gain value and the person that I'm talking to gains value, then it's enough. And that might sound selfish. But if then 2, 3, 4 guys or girls listen to it and they're like, holy crap, that one thing that he said about diet, I'm going to try that. And then it impacts their life. Then it's like, oh shit, dude, that's like the power of it. You know, it's like a multiplier. So, So long answer long. Yeah. I think in 10 years, I would love to be having intentional conversations with my friends and people that interest me.
I love that. It's just fun. You're right. Like,
get interrupted by my fucking dad. Unbelievable. You know what, dude? If I knew how to edit that out, I would, but I don't. So I'm not. I have no fucking clue.
Let's go.
It's gonna be in here.
It's sick.
Unbelievable. Hey, well, I think that's a good spot to wrap up, man. I mean, I appreciate you.
Wow. Hour 47.
Not bad. I appreciate
that's
you
insane.
coming on, dude. I appreciate you talking, and I appreciate the candor and the honesty. I'm 100% sure that you'll be on again.
Oh,
if you'll come on.
can't say no, dude. I mean, come on. This is it's like
your
you said.
podcast and my podcast can be like a tennis match. Just fucking you on. Yeah.
Like it's interesting. You
Yeah.
know, it's you're right. Like being able to just engage in conversation that has a purpose instead of just because right now just shooting the shit is cool too, but really you got to be present for this, right? You got to listen. You actually have to understand what someone's saying so that you can respond to a question, and that forces you to actively think. It forces you to engage instead of just being like,
Yeah.
you're sitting there cross-eyed,
Not actually focused.
1,000-mile stare, but then
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah,
You're losing the actual
Exactly.
substance of what's being talked about. I agree, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
yes sir.
Let's go eat.